Welcome to the Gravel Grinding Boys Palouse to Cascades State Park Trail Day 6, Part 2. As a quick recap, we left Ralston, Washington early this morning and made it to Malden, Idaho after many long detours. The trail bed was so nice, I filled up with water, and then I made a decision.
So I'm in Malden right now. It's been a long trail, and you know what I'm thinking about doing? I don't think I'm going to stay the night in Rosella. I think I'm going to go ahead and push it on through and make it all the way to Plummer tonight. Just hit the bricks and make it happen. All right, here we go. Let's finish this bad boy today.
Call it trail fatigue or call it trail psychosis, but I decided to ride on after an already 66-mile day. I started to get tired, dog tired. This was Friday evening, and I heard rain was due on Saturday. Along with the trail bed outside of Malden being so fantastic, getting filled up with water, and with the Idaho border only 34 miles away, I figured I'd push it on tonight. After all, 34 miles is less than some of my after-work rides, and even then I'm still home in time for cornflakes.
It's either Rosella or Rosala. You got me. Forgive me for you guys that are sensitive to that kind of thing. I'm doing my best. I got a southern tongue and I try to wrap it around these names and it doesn't always work out. So we made it to Rosella or Rosala. I'm going to leave it up to you to correct me. I appreciate the comments. We were going to stay here tonight, but we're not. There was a market here and there's beer here, but we're going to push it on through. And as you can see, we got about 25 miles to the Idaho border, and then about another 10 miles till we get back to Plummer, or to Plummer rather. And that's our goal, 35 more miles today. Well, when I made the decision to go back tonight, I made it based on that trail base that I was riding on. This is miserable. I mean, it's the trail that I expected, but I thought there was going to be some reprieve. Not that I'm going to go seek management and complain, because that's not what I'm saying. I think I underestimated or overestimated my abilities and underestimated the trail, but we're going to push on forward. I mean, we're all day average speed 8.7 miles. I mean, we're just creeping along. I mean, if we can get 10 miles an hour, we're going to be 3-4 hours before we get to Plummer. So we're doing our best. Beautiful evening, just beautiful. Other than my backside hurting, I'm really enjoying this. The trail bed, oh my gracious. ones like this, I would downshift and then get some momentum, and then you'll be in the right gear at the top. I think I'm gonna go down it and get some speed, get in that top gear and kill myself. Have to get off and walk it. Whew. Those things kill me. This time of day anyways. We started early this morning. Early. It's a good thing because I had been starting around 8:30. But I woke up around 3:30, couldn't go back to sleep. Got up about 4:25.
Another very short detour, and I'm sorry I don't have video of it, is at Pandora. About 6 or 7 miles from Rosila, you'll end up in an area known as Pandora. There's a missing trestle here. You'll see it there, or you'll run to the dead end and have to turn around a bit. Get onto Pandora Road and ride down to Whelm Road. Past where the trestle was, turn left and climb back up to the trail. No sweat.
Down this. Go down that too fast, run out into a car or something.
This is the Seabury Bridge over Sumner Road.
It's pretty scary. There's no railings, I just realized that. Huh. Whoa. Well, I was glad it was there, I promise you. Oh my gracious, I promise you.
What's strange, there's another Lone Pine, Washington as well. Toccoa Trestle is a beautiful improvement to the Palouse to Cascades State Park Trail. Absolutely beautiful. The steel railroad trestle stands 115 feet above Highway 27 and Hangman Creek and is 975 feet long.
Howdy.
Going.
So we are 5 miles, give or take, from Idaho. It don't look like anybody's policing this area of the trail. Either that or it's extreme mixed use. Huh.
From the end of the Toccoa Trestle, you've only got 5 miles to get to the Idaho border. These are a rough 5 miles. There are thousands of miles of Forest Service roads all over this area, and I'm not sure why someone with a throttle needs to destroy precious rail grade. Friends, this is what happens when you put a motor to a wheel and a hand or foot from certain people to a throttle. Not you, but folks I know. Like Mama always said, this is why we can't have nice things.
I don't know what's in that water. Might liable to get stuck. Put both feet down in it. Last thing I want. 15 miles of wet, muddy shoes.
The map indicates that the area may be impassable due to wet conditions. It's wet because it's pocked and pitted for motorized traffic. Cyclists, equestrians, and hikers don't cause this kind of damage. The light is starting to fade, and my little GoPro will likely struggle with keeping the video steady. Bear with the shaky video, we're getting close. And just like that, we rode up on the eastern trailhead of the Palouse to Cascades State Park Trail in the Idaho border. It felt like 100 years before that I started this trail back at Cedar Falls Trailhead.
Now off to Idaho. We'll make it to Plummer, about 10 miles.
Or so I thought. About a year ago when I started planning for this trip, my routing app, my guidance app, gave me the green line to follow all the way to Plummer, Idaho from the Washington border. And I was still using that same map. Like the online map I had from the Washington State Park's website and the gate lock codes I got from the site, things changed. Sometimes, like this area from Malden to Rosila, where it was closed when I started researching this trail, and even closed when I checked the website before leaving June 2024, now the map thankfully is much different, as was my experience on the trail. Before leaving on your journey, be sure to do a once-over of all your preparations. Maps change, codes changed, as well as all the other expected, unexpected events. But this is okay. This is what makes it all an adventure. We don't want the adventure to be completely predictable. The way to work and to our local grocery store, that's predictable. Preparation is important, for sure, but you can spend so much time preparing and still have the unexpected. And that's okay.
Trail's turned off a little rough. A lot of mud puddles you have to actually go through. There's no way around them.
So off to my planned route to Plummer, Idaho. The camera is compensating the exposure and showing the light as being much brighter than it really was at the time of the evening. I'd ridden 100 miles on the John Wayne Trail just today, the Palouse to Cascades State Park Trail. And after 5 days and 285 miles over those 5 days, now at 385 miles, and after a 100-mile day thus far, I was pretty tired. After crossing over into Idaho, I realized later that I'd missed a few important details.
Everything is fine until you hear banjos. Remember wet feet? Oh my gracious. Anyway, we still, I don't know, about 5 miles from town. I'm ready to get there. I'm tired.
Ultimately, I hit a brick wall on my journey from the Washington border to Plummer, Idaho. There was no more light to see by, and the trail, or what I thought was the trail, had come to a dead end.
I don't know if this is doable. I might have to call her to come get me someplace else.
I had to turn around after riding 7 miles into Idaho and finding out later that I was only 4 miles away from the Trail of the Coeur d'Alene's western trailhead.
There's another road over here, but I don't know where it goes. It doesn't share the dotted line.
But those 4 miles may as well been 100 miles. There was no way through, and both the trail and my energy level had come to a dead end. My wife and son were en route from Plummer to pick me up. After finding some reception, I called them from Agency Road, and they followed a blinking dot on their phone to find my location.
Can we officially say we're done? I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to have them come out here and pick me up. From that point that we were at, we were about 2 miles from Plummer, but there was no way to get there. And to go around, oh my gracious, it's another 7-8 miles. I just don't have it in me. And it's dark, and I'm tired, and my feet are wet and cold. So there's my belly aching for today. But we did, I bet you, over 100 miles today in the dirt. In the dirt. Hard dirt, too.
After a 109-mile day and using up every bit of energy and every bit of daylight I had, I was officially done with my journey from Seattle, Washington to Plummer, Idaho. But I didn't make it to Plummer. Ah, you noticed that. And a good thing, too. Left room for a sequel, part 2. Finding the way from the Palouse to Cascades State Park Trail to Plummer, Idaho, and the western trailhead of the Trail of the Coeur d'Alene's. Returning in October 2024, 4 months later, I was determined to find the route from the eastern trailhead of the Palouse to Cascades State Park Trail to the western trailhead of the Trail of the Coeur d'Alene's. I knew I'd not be on conditions as challenging as the Palouse to Cascades State Park Trail and decided to ride my gravel bike on this route. Later, I'll be porting a camp cast iron Dutch oven in a trailer behind that bicycle to a campsite for a bit of simmering and scenery. But for now, let's find that route back to Plummer, Idaho, and the trailhead of the Trail of the Coeur d'Alenes. Like last time, I'm looking across the trail to the Idaho side. This is not part of the Palouse to Cascades State Park Trail. Idaho does not have a designated area or trail from the border, the Washington border, to the next section of the old railway route and to the trailhead of the Trail of the Coeur d'Alenes. That late Friday evening on my 100th plus mile, I rode into Idaho thinking the trail was very nice, but that eventually changed to a point where it was impassable. I don't know how, but I totally missed this sign that night. In the dusk light and from fatigue, I must have missed this sign altogether. The language of the sign does not say no trespassing, but the meaning is understood. I could ask why, but then again, right now is not the time or place. The way to Plummer is eventually blocked. We already know that. These signs block it even sooner. Little did I know. But I'd hoped for a shorter way, and a way along the old railway railbed. Making it to Plummer this way is not possible. My guidance app had at one time told me that it was passable. However, now it shows a dotted line suggesting that this way is not a good idea. From the eastern trailhead of the Palouse to Cascades Trail, the route I'm going to show you is beautiful, and it's going to give you a real taste of the Palouse's ups and downs. Ride 2¼ mile to Meredith Road and turn right. Just at the end of Meredith Road, there's a quick 11%er. You'll need to climb this. It's not too long, not at all. It'll take you to a reprieve at McKellen Road. At McKellen Road, you could take the right, and that'll take you to Plummer too. I went that way, and it's okay. A bit longer, but I prefer the way I'm showing you now. Take the left there on McKellen Road and ride this to a hard right turn and then onto a paved road called Fairfield Road. The speed limits on this road are about 40 miles per hour. I know that does not mean someone will pass you at 60, but I didn't have that experience. Fairfield is a winding climb all the way up to around 3,227 feet from about 2,695 feet and over about 3 miles. And then the rest of this ride all the way to the trailhead downhill. Oh yeah. This concludes my presentation of my 6-day bikepacking trip from Seattle, Washington to Plummer, Idaho. Would I do this trip again? Absolutely, you betcha. I'd do a few things differently, 2 in particular. Number 1, I would have stayed the night in Malden or Rosella on that last night, and then I would have gotten up Saturday morning and worked my way back to Plummer. 109 miles in a single day on the Palouse to Cascades State Park Trail, especially on the eastern side of the Columbia, was very difficult. I would also do a thorough once-over of my map and gate codes just before leaving to make sure everything is dress right dress. My experience was absolutely amazing, and I'm already planning next summer's trip on the Palouse to Cascades State Park Trail. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up if you will. Hit that subscribe button and give a bit of a ring on that bike bell. We'll have more bikepacking trips and adventures to share soon. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for watching.